Hello everyone, I am KBL Srivastava and I am offering this course on managing change in organizations. Now, this course on change management, which has been entitled as managing change in organization, is going to offer you an overview of the change management dynamics in organizations. If you look at the external environment today, organizations are going through a lot of changes. The external environment, whether you talk about political environment, cultural environment, social, technical and economic environment, they are going through a lot of uncertainty. Okay. So, because of this uncertainty, it is very important for people working in organizations or who are likely to work in organizations to identify what are those elements of uncertainty which they have to deal with, so that they can implement significant changes in the organizations to better cope up with the challenges of the environment. Organizations today are facing lot of uncertainties in terms of competition, working in uncertain environment. So, how to cope up with these challenges of change? Now, this course I am not going to say is going to offer a remedy, but will definitely help you to navigate the path of successful change in organizations. Now, the major objective of this course is to ensure that you are able to understand what are the different factors, especially internal factors as well as external factors, which mandate change. You will be able to identify the need for change, that why organizations go for a change. And once you are able to identify that yes, there is a need for change in organizations, then you should also need to identify what kind of changes are going on, whether it is transformational change, whether you need to go for total turnaround, or whether it is incremental changes, we are going to change a specific issue or a specific department or a specific technology or a specific process. So, when we are going to talk about change management in organizations, we will start with why there is a need for change in the organization, what type of change is happening, and then what is changing in organizations. So, you also need to go for diagnosis of what is changing in organizations in terms of whether you are going for change in the technology, change in the people, culture and management practices, change in the processes, change in the strategy. Okay. So, there could be different kind of changes which might happen in the organization. So, we will talk about all kind of changes which happens in the organization, and once you know that okay, these are the changes that is likely to happen or that is going to be there in the organization, our next job is to see that how we can implement this. So, in order to implement any kind of change successfully in an organization, we need to ensure that you have the tools and frameworks to identify and diagnose the kind of change that you are going to have and how this change is going to be implemented. In order to implement the change successfully, we will talk about lot of tools, techniques and frameworks which will help you to diagnose the change, and once the diagnosis is done, you should be able to identify, but even before identifying the change, you should be able to identify what are the barriers, how to take help of everybody, how to put everybody on board, okay, who is going to be in charge of the change. So, you also need to create a leader or a team for change, which is going to look into that how this change is going to be successfully implemented in the organization. You also need to look at the resistance which employees might have or people might have, which will not allow you to significantly go for implementing change successfully. So, and then the most important thing is participation of the people in the process of change. So, you also need to communicate with everybody in the process and take them on board to see that everybody participates and cooperates in the change process, and then we will also see that how this change is going to help you to implement them successfully, and what is the outcome ultimately of this change effort. So, you need to ensure that this change is going to help organizations to become more efficient, is going to be more innovative and productive, coming out with new processes and systems in place, which is going to be productive for the organization, and organizations become more effective. So, this is the total process which we are going to talk about in this course, starting with the need, what kind of changes happens, why change is going to happen, what are the different kind of changes are going to happen, how we are going to diagnose using tools and frameworks, then the communication process, then how we are going to link it with certain outcomes in terms of innovation, productivity and other things. And that is how this course is going to offer you a glimpse of the entire change management process in the organization, and this would definitely help not only the individuals who are working in the organizations, but also students who are going to face lot of challenges in terms of change where they are going to work in future, and even in their own life they could also implement it. And with this objective, I hope that I would be able to offer you something worthwhile in terms of this course, which will take you to a new level of understanding about the dynamics of change management. Thank you very much.